Welcome to Comfort Africa number 2. I'm your host, Echo Fan Grey Wolf. I will not be making any videos outside of this video tonight. So, got the chapter 3 printed out so I can take notes this weekend as I work on chapter 4. And I can deliver chapter 3 to my teacher so that she can have a copy of it to see if she likes where it's going. And see if she can give me some legal advice. Because I tried to keep it as reality as possible, which is why I put in writer's notes so everybody knows that this is a fantasy. Okay? I was like, this is like a straight fantasy. So, yeah, that way don't nobody be like, oh, well, this is a real place. Nah, it's not a real place, but real places like that do exist. The book is called Sundown. Now, if I can I want to get it done by hopefully the end of November or December. And then I can start getting money together so I can try to get it to Page Publishing so I can get it published, unless I can find someone who can publish it cheaper, than $2,000 that I don't have. Anyway, that being said, I want to thank you guys for being here. I'm currently only not going to film tonight because I want to watch these people that are awesome pushing people who are not awesome, and I waiting for the debate for next week because the pretending's got to go. All right, and like they said earlier, these guys aren't native off the app, where I can never not be mixed. All right, now I can choose between being black and native. I prefer to just be mixed, but I can choose also depending on who I encounter. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Alright? And that's going to be it. Liquorship is a thing. Alright? And you know how many times someone has called me Mexican or Samoan or Filipino. Alright? Now, granted, they always said that I was like half, but they still said it, which is the point. Hold on. Gotta put some light on the subject. Because clearly that light up there is wrecking the video. Alright. So hopefully that helps. If not, just a little bit. So, like they said, these guys are generally, they go back to being black when the app is off. I can't do that when I get off of social media. I'm still going to be mixed, and that generally does depend on who I encounter. And 9 times out of 10, if I encounter someone black, it's what do you mix with? If I encounter somebody white, it's what do you mix with? There's not a lot of Native Americans here in Charlottesville. There are some just past Scottsville and just past Richmond in Powhite or Powhite and in Charles City, which I intend on going to visit as soon as I get my money straight. Anyhow, that being said, depending on who I encounter, this very important words, depending on who I encounter, they are going to ask me if I am mixed and what am I mixed with. I've been going through this shit for 50 years. And like I said, there are ways to approach us mixed people to ask where it's not a pain in the ass. And there are some people who are just straight blunt. Yo, what you mixed with? No, I'm good either way. I'm 50 years old. I'm so used to people asking me what I'm mixed with by now that it no longer matters, And it's been one of the things that has let's see what's the words. It has been a blessing and a curse at the same time. It's a blessing because I am very proud of being mixed. It's a curse because sometimes you meet racist people who don't like people like me that exist. Alright? That's always going to be a thing with mixed people. We are going to encounter people who are very good to us and accepting and don't pass judgment because they know it's just like everybody else on the planet. You don't get a say in what family you're born in. God knows sometimes I wish I wasn't in my family. And the other thing on that is that when it comes to family, I don't care who you are, you don't have to agree with it, and you can deny this until the cows come home or until Jesus comes back or whatever the hell the plan is. You have favorites on your mother's side or your father's side, and it really depends on who treats you best when they see you. And the truth is, absence makes the heart grow fonder. My favorite aunt on my dad's side, I will not name. I only have one aunt left on my mom's side. I have three aunts left on my dad's side because life happens and people die. I don't spend enough time with none of them. No. And that part sucks because I don't live in Smithfield, so I can't drive to Smithfield and hang down there every day. It would be nice if I could, but I can't. I don't have money like that. Um, my aunt here in Charlottesville is God only knows where, and she has grandkids to take care of because one of her children just can't stay the fuck out of trouble. And everybody has people in their families that's like that. No. We all have siblings that, for some odd ass reason, they live on that fuck you, I do what I want, I'm grown, you can't tell me what to do. And then when fuck you, I do what I want comes back to bite them in the ass, they act like it's your fault that they fucked up. No. Everybody has a sibling like that. I have a few. And the thing is that they don't recognize it. And you know the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Which is more than likely not gonna fucking happen because you're doing the same thing over and over again expecting different results. You see how that works? It doesn't. You know, it really doesn't work. But you can't explain it to some people because some people have head and ass syndrome. And instead of doing what they're supposed to do, they, again, live on, fuck you. I do what I want. Fuck you. I do what I want. And then when I do what I want, comes back to bite them in the ass, now they all butthurt because, you know, they don't know what the fuck to do and they fucked up. So instead of like grabbing the bull by the horns, they want to put the heat off on somebody else. You know, well, if you would have did this, this wouldn't happen. Well, you would have did it in the first place, it also wouldn't have happened. And then there's the accountability factor. Lots of people don't like taking accountability, which is also a big fucking problem. Accountability is the thing. Whether you like it or not is irrelevant. And it also doesn't change the fact that it is a thing. You know, if your action has a really bad consequence, then you know it was a bad action to begin with, and you probably shouldn't have took that action, knowing that the consequence would be dire straits. But yet again, you will always have either a family member or a friend or somebody you know who takes stupidity to a whole nother level, and then they get mad because they fucked up and now they gotta live with the fuck up. But they can't because they mad. No. And they ain't just mad, they big mad. So now they got something to say, but it's their own damn fault. Because fuck you, I do what I want. And that's how they live. And then they cry about it. When fuck you, I do what I want, it comes back to bite you in the ass. And like I said, everybody's got family members like that. Everybody do. And if you don't, go count your lucky stars. Because two things that happen. There's only two of you, or you're an only child. Simple as that. There's 7 of us, not counting my 2 brothers that my dad had with another lady, who have never gone out their way to make my life miserable. Where every sibling under me, on some small level, maybe not intentionally, maybe intentionally, have gone out their way to fuck me out of my life. And thank you, and I'm sorry, doesn't give me back the years that I've lost taking care of y'all, plus turning around taking care of your children because of bad procreation choices. You understand the thing? Alright, now back to being mixed. We have a scale of color that came out my mama. My older sister and I were high yellow, but I work in the sun. You can see I have 2 tones, but this is my true color. My older sibling, same color. Sibling under me, off-white. If she really wanted to, she could be white passing. Yeah, and I have prayed for her color, just so that I could get good jobs and be like Dave Chappelle and play Tricky Man. I forgot the name of the guy, but anyway. My sister under her is the darkest one of us all, and she's had the darkest children of us all. Her oldest son is the darkest of her sons. Her daughters are both light skinned. They're a little bit darker than me, just like maybe like one notch. The sister under her has 5 children, 2 boys, 3 girls. The boys are light skinned, the girls are brown. One girl is the darkest of the 3 girls. The brother under her has 3 kids. His 2 daughters are as light as he is. They're actually just a tan, a little bit darker than him. His son, same. They're just a slight bit darker than him. The sister under him has 4 kids. The youngest boy is the lightest. The other 3 kids are moderately the same color. So when you're mixed, this is the shit you're going to have to deal with. And we're generationally mixed. My older sister and I, our dad's half black, half native. Our mom's half black, half white, half native. So you see the clusterfuck that we have there. You know? And we've been this way for 50 plus years, and there's no need to change it or worry about it because a TikTok app says so. But like I said, there are ways to ask people what they are mixed with, and some of us, you can tell we're mixed. Some of us, you can't. And I guess it could be because you see so many people, sometimes you just don't know. Alright? And like I said, for the bulk of my life, I have been mixed. And I'm going to be mixed until I die. My children will be mixed. Anyway, as I told you guys this before, I'll tell you this one more time. I was in college. This Spanish lady from Spain was teaching us Spanish, and I was failing miserably. She said, Jaime, the answers are in the back of the box. Back of the book, not the back of the box. And I said, ma'am, I can't learn that way because I can't even read this shit. And then she hit me with the ultimate racial thing. I've never met a Mexican that can't speak Spanish. So right off a liquor ship, she assumed I was Mexican. And I had to correct her. I said, well, ma'am, and this was also before I was smart enough to realize that Mexicans are also Native Americans. Because Mexico, there was no borders before colonization. And the bulk of Texas, all the way to California, was actually Mexico. Which is why New Mexico is in Arizona, like right side by side, same next to Nevada. You know, because all that shit was Mexico. And Mexicans are Native Americans. They don't claim it, I guess. They might start claiming it now, but, you know, people get mad about people crossing the border. Understand something. They're not crossing the border, they're coming home. Because Mexicans are also Native Americans. Whether you want to admit it or not, it's a whole other ballgame. But Mexicans are also Native Americans. This is not me defending or pulling for Mexicans to adopt me or anything like that. This is just a state of fucking fact. Mexicans are Native Americans. You might not like that fact. And if you don't, that's not my problem. That's a you problem. It's a fact. Before there was borders, tribes had their places that they traveled. Mexicans were also Native Americans. Then colonization happened and then borders happened, and here we go. Which goes back to the lady telling me she never met a Mexican that couldn't speak Spanish. And I had to tell her, no ma'am, I'm not Mexican. I am part Native American, but I'm not Mexican. Which is why I don't speak Spanish. My great-grandmother on my dad's side only had me for 3 months out of the year. And that was in the summertime from like 5 years old to 10 years old. She died in 83. I was born in 73. And she was born in like the turn of the century. Like 1919 or some shit like that. And she lived a very long time. Her daughter, my grandmother, she cooked for a living, while her mother, my great-grandmother, cleaned for a living. And my grandmother forced me to eat corn. I hate corn. I know that sounds bad coming from a person who's part Native American, but I fucking hate corn. I fucking hate that shit. I used to like corn on the cob, but then watched my grandmother put corn in the pancakes. I was done. You know, it is what it is. Now, her mother never made me eat anything. I just sat at her knees before they got amputated, and I just listened to all her stories. That's it. Most of it was about her and her brother's family running through the wilderness. That's it. And some folklore. That's it. FYI, something came across one of my things on my app thingy majigs and said that Bigfoot was spotted in Colorado. Don't know how much of that is true, but we can talk about that in another video, just not tonight. And like I said, wherever I go, there has been people. What are you mixed with? What are you mixed with? Oh, I'm part black. Yeah, yeah, yeah. What else are you mixed with? Oh, I'm also part native. I'm also part white. It's not that difficult. It's been happening to me since the dawn of my fucking ability to speak, walk, listen, and learn. And again, the 3 years at Kegler's where the white fella kept calling me chief, there was that. So yeah. So this is the only video you're gonna get tonight. I do apologize. I'm going to take a break. I'm going to listen to these black people push in these bogus ass Native Americans, and I'm gonna call it a day. Thank you guys for watching. I love all 316 of you, by the way. Thank you. Have a blessed day. Be seeing you. Also, sorry for the extra long video yesterday.